Russia-Ukraine news. With Putin, South Africa narrowly avoids disaster. With the announcement that Russian President Vladimir Putin will only participate in the BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa summit in Johannesburg via video link, international pressure on South Africa has subsided. The impact of Putin's surprise visit to South Africa for the summit had been the subject of much speculation. Putin is wanted for questioning by the International Criminal Court, ICC, in The Hague regarding potential war crimes committed by Russian forces in the Ukraine conflict. Sergei Lavrov, Russia's foreign minister, will instead attend the summit in South Africa. The arrest warrant for Putin was issued in March by the ICC on the basis of South Africa's ratification of the Rome Statute that established the ICC in 2002. If Vladimir Putin had shown up to the BRICS summit in South Africa, he would have been promptly arrested. In his request for an exemption from detention, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa cited concerns that doing so would threaten the security, peace, and order of the state. As he continued his argument in court, he added, "It would be inconsistent with our constitution to risk war with Russia." South Africa is a close ally of Russia. According to political analyst Daniel Silk of Cape Town, having Putin in South Africa would have put the country in an awkward position. It would have been embarrassing for South Africa to comply with the International Criminal Court's arrest warrant, he told DW. The Russian side decided not to strain relations that are crucial to Moscow because of the strong bond between the two countries. Ramaphosa claims that it was a mutual decision. The BRICS agenda would have been derailed by Putin. The African National Congress, ANC, the current ruling party in South Africa, was originally a liberation movement supported by the Soviet Union during the apartheid era. South Africa is a mediator in the African Union's efforts to end the conflict between Russia and Ukraine and Russia. The Democratic Alliance, DA, the main opposition party in South Africa, had pushed for the government to comply with the ICC and arrest Putin upon his arrival. But Silk claims it was never likely the Russian president would show up in person at the BRICS summit. The agenda of the emerging economies, which he claimed also included finding ways to counterbalance the West's influence, would have been overshadowed by his presence. Threatening wrath from the West, South Africa. It has restricted his freedom of movement, and no doubt this will restrict his freedom of movement in many other parts of the world, Silk said of the international pressure and the ICC warrant that prevented Putin from leaving Russia. South Africa will be able to keep its reputation as a government that respects the rule of law, according to political economist Ronik Gopaldas, who spoke with the Reuters news agency. The law, he continued, is crystal clear on the subject of a country's domestic and international responsibilities. He claimed that if Putin had arrived in South Africa, the country would have had to make an arrest. In his opinion, had that not happened, Pretoria would have been in a lot of trouble, not only in terms of the rule of law, but also in terms of the reaction of the business community and the international community, Gopaldas said. Financial markets would have been significantly affected as well, analysts agree. South Africa's currency, the rand, has been hit hard by the country's faltering economy and a prolonged power outage. South Africa would have faced the wrath or criticism of Western countries, according to Dudu Sidibe, a professor of international relations at Paris's Gustave Eiffel University.